Oh, I'm too loud for my own good. For your good, I hope your ears are okay. I hope your heads are okay after last night. And I hope you've been enjoying the content you've seen as part of Checkpoint this morning. We do have a hashtag for that. It's hashtag Checkpoint. Very easy. The clue is on the box in front of you all. And obviously, if you'd like to share your photos, I know we've got some content creators in the front row. Hashtag ESI LDN. Get on the TikTok, Mav. What are you doing? Ralphie, you're big on the Twitch, on the Twitter? Yeah, you're doing all right. So we are going to have more creator-focused content coming up for you right now. The clue is on the board, uniting brands and creators, why work together. And so hosting this panel, we have Sirius from Arcade Media. So Anna, if you'd like to join us on stage right now. Everyone, we want to get the energy in the room up. Please welcome Anna, she's your moderator. We've got Mark Purdy, former, absolute professional Overwatch nerd, streamer, turned marketing master from Disobey, Sebastian Carmichael-Brown, who is Next Level Talent, co-founder of #United. Then we have Sam Wahab from Charlotte Tilbury Beauty. And finally, definitely last but definitely not least, we have Morgan Caelum from Logitech G. So, yes, that's it. Everyone at ESI, come on. Bring up this energy, please. And enjoy the panel. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Anna.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So today we're going to talk about uniting brands and creators and why we work together. I'm joined by 4 amazing panelists. I'm Anna, I work for Arcade Media. I'm the project director there. We represent the Sidemen. The Sidemen are some of the biggest creators in the world and certainly Europe. We have about 125 to 130 million subscribers across the entire Sidemen ecosystem, which is mad. And yesterday they actually celebrated their 10th anniversary, so they've been doing it a long time. And that's it. Mark, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I'm Mark, long-time competitive FPS player and co-founder of games marketing agency Disobey. Prior to agency life, I was a full-time Twitch creator and YouTuber for 6 years, doing lots of different paid activations for many different brands and consultancy.
Hi everyone, Seb Carmichael-Brown. I am co-founder of #United, which is like a football and esports hybrid club. Also founder of Next Level Talent, which work with a lot of different brands and different creators on the commercial side of things.
Hey everyone, Sam Wahab. I'm head of gaming and XR at Charlotte Tilbury Beauty. Before that, I worked at Red Bull, handling music, entertainment, and gaming. Massive gaming fan from the Atari days. And yeah, happy to be here.
Hi, my name is Morgan. I am the Community and Creator Manager at Logitech G. I can see some familiar faces as well. In my past, I was a content creator, but I was an illustrator and I did a lot of YouTube, Twitch and stuff like that. So that's kind of my background, yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's kick off with a question. What are the primary factors brands consider when collaborating with a content creator? Who wants to kick off? Mark, go ahead.
Go for it, Mark. All right. Aside from the general metrics that every campaign should be looking at, so that would be, the viewership, other qualitative data should be considered, such as, is the creator a good brand fit? Do their moral compass align with your brand? That's really important because they're an extension of your brand, essentially. So if they're going out doing something that you don't agree with, that's a reflection of your brand directly. So I believe that's really, really important to consider. And also, is there a genuine excitement for your product that you have for your brand? If there isn't a genuine excitement or passion, that charisma doesn't flow when that creator's talking to their audience, and therefore it can seem disingenuous. So these are a few points to consider. I'll pass it across.
Yeah, I think it's really about what you want to achieve, I think it depends on, there's such a broad definition now of content creator or influencer or whatever you want to call it. It's like, saying people that have a website are interneters. It's such a varied definition that brands are trying to do different things, whether that's B2C, B2B, or whether they're trying to build brand, whether they're trying to acquire customers, registrations to a platform or whatever. I think it's very much dependent on what the goal is. I think that one of the biggest things that we've seen now is a lot of the creator businesses are becoming much more evolved. So back in the day, you'd be talking to, a boy or a girl in their bedroom and they're just, delighted to get some free product, now to the point where they've got huge teams working for them that need, there's a lot of overhead, right? So now I think very much depends on what they want to, what they're trying to achieve. But with return to assessment, obviously, reach and the demographic, and also the type of content on the type of platforms, you can get such different results for different objectives. So it's so varied, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want to just tick some stats on a marketing report, you go for reach. What I look for personally is just originality and purpose, and creators who do things that either haven't been done before, whether it's successful or not, just that ability to take that risk. It's just, there are new platforms every day, and even the existing platforms have new features. So I just look at creators who are, there's a new update on the app or the platform and they're using it, they're trying it, whether it works or it doesn't, that's understandable, but it's, we're moving towards survival of the fastest, not the fittest. So I look for someone who's agile, creating cool stuff and just trying and is willing to take risks. Because that goes into the purpose of just, trying new things and originality, which is what I personally would look for.
I think for me, my key sort of thing that I look for is uniqueness and genuine sort of vibes from people. I don't know how to describe it, but I try to vibe check. Sorry to sound like I'm down with the kids, but I think you can get a feel from people very quickly on how they are as a creator, and you can kind of guess whether they are in it for the long haul, what their intentions are, I think. And I kind of go for that genuine kind of creator. That's my main thing.
It's all about the vibe check. You have to have the vibe check for sure. And also from the creator side, you have to know that the majority of your audience are going to consume whatever the brand you're collaborating is on. It's just not going to work otherwise, because you have to think about your audience first. So I know the brand has an objective to work with a specific creator, but the creator's first objective, in the Sidemen's case, isn't about the money. It's not, let's just take the bag. It's actually, let's think about our audiences and how they might consume this. Great. So why do some creators stand out and get more brand collaborations compared to others? Who'd like to kick that off?
Everyone's looking at me. Let's go for it. Okay. So why do they get more? I think it can be to how they will interact and how they will operate off camera. So obviously, it's got to perform well, right? So people that are delivering successful campaigns that perform well, that could be reported well, that achieve their objectives, obviously you're going to come back for more. But then equally, it's how you handle yourself. The whole week in, week out, all of us will be involved in the process of identifying a brief, delivering a creative against the brief, actually executing that content, and then following up with a report of some kind to really measure, was it successful? And I think how you can work with the brand in those steps. You see so many creators, it's completely natural if you think about the very nature of the fact that a lot of creators are very young. They haven't had work experience, they haven't had life experience yet, so they're just thrown into a world where they get adulation and financial reward fall at them. It's very hard for them to really process that and to be responsible with that. So they're often going to be quite transactional and a little bit more unprofessional potentially. So then the job with people that work with those creators is to try and get them to understand, what does the brand really want? What do they really need in order for this to be a success for them? What are they really paying for? They're not just paying because you've got followers, you can deliver some value back. So I think how the creator can interact with the brand or with the brand agency behind the scenes will give them a feeling and confidence that they're going to come back and back and back.
I agree. I think it's the professionalism away from the camera that really stands out. So if you come back to us and you say hey, here's my metrics and here's how this performed and here's everything that I put out, especially something that goes down really well is obviously over-delivering. I would never ask anyone to over-deliver because we've got an agreement, right? And I'm not going to ask people to do extra work off their back. But if you do over-deliver, that always goes down really well, and it tends to make the brand come back and say hey, I'd like to do some more work with you. Not saying you should overwork yourselves. Please take breaks and do not overwork yourselves. But that tends to be what stands out a lot as well.
Yeah, I guess it's a combination of what you deliver and how you deliver it. And again, you never ask someone to give you more, and there isn't that expectation ever. So that's why when it does happen and it's not expected, it's always appreciated. And just simple things like how you reply to people and the overall experience, because at the end of the day, sure, you're a brand, but you're also a person working at a brand. And as long as they see you as a person in a brand, they treat you with that mutual respect, because everyone comes across either a certain brand or a certain creator that had a bad experience and therefore wants to make sure that, everything is, 100% legit. And then there's that sort of standoffish nature. And then you're just like, okay, but it's all about the attitude after you deliver something. If you give a little extra, teams and people remember you for your attitude. And you're just like, this was a great experience. I would definitely want to work with that person again. Either you space it out, because obviously you want to reach different audiences at different times. But going above and beyond is something that really helps, and just being cool with the people you work with. Because again, we work in gaming, it's fun, it's supposed to be enjoyable. And that's the key thing. If it's fun, if it's great, you're hitting your results and then some, then that's a key thing.
This was a question that was very close to my heart, because being on the creator side, it was really important that I was able to work with brands to pull deals in to survive. And what I call in the kind of creator world is business magic, which is not magic at all. It's just, if you reply to your emails as a content creator, you're already 70% ahead of the other people. There's a lot of content creators that are unreliable. They miss opportunities, and it's kind of feeding to that unprofessionalism. I really valued making sure that I was doing my deliverables, reporting after the campaign, and also, how can you help improve that campaign for your client? As a content creator, you're working with a brand. That brand also wants to tap into your world, and how do they get the best out of what you do? So it was really important to me, speaking from a content point of view, to say, hey, this campaign was great, but actually it could have been better if you did X, Y, Z. Made me look more reliable, and therefore I was able to get more business in the future with the brands, because while I may not have been the biggest streamer, I was sizable, but no way the biggest, because I was helping the brands. I was one of their top choices because they knew I would reply. They knew that I would always try my best to make the campaign successful. So that's kind of the secret sauce, again, that's not so secret. If other creators adopt that, they're going to start getting more campaigns.
Do you think maybe obviously on a much larger scale, but like what the Sidemen have done with getting an exclusive management company ensures that as you grow bigger and you become a bigger creator, you're not losing those relationships, you're not disrespecting people, you're not mistreating people, you're replying to everyone, you're on the comms, you're clear, and you can just communicate with everyone. And that's why in fortunate situations like this, you've got a whole team of people supporting you, so you can uphold all those relationships that you've spent years building. So it's quite key, but yeah, thank you.
Just to add to what you mentioned, I think that's a very valid point, and something that's super awesome in the sense that sometimes if you go to a creator and you're like, this is the brief, this is the idea, this is what we're doing, and they help you building that up, it is actually a very good point. It's something great, because you can have a great idea of what you think would be cool, but the creator is the one out there doing it and has the experience and puts in more time than you ever would. So that sort of collaborative spirit of just starting off a sentence with, what would be cool, and making it a two-way thing, then it's a brainstorm, and then it's an idea that didn't even come from you, and that's fine. If an idea comes from a creator, even better. So yeah, that is a very, very important point when working with creators. If they help you solve the problem in their creative ways, then that's a win.
I mean, that segues perfectly into our next question, which is how important is creative control for the brand when collaborating with the creator?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's one of the biggest things that we wrestle with on a regular basis is, end of the day, a lot of the time, if you're looking just for distribution, there's many ways you can buy that with paid spend or with other marketing campaigns. But where I always will see the best results from a creator-led campaign is and one of the best benefits of a creator is that you get creative, you get production, and you get distribution all in one place. So I think often the best successes I find, and I know that you guys find with the Sidemen, is when brands will tap into their existing plans, as opposed to, here's a brief, go and create an idea for content around this. Now that can work, but way more successful is when you can get in early enough in the conversation when the guys have got a particular campaign they're doing, and they say, right, we want to find the right brand partner for this, and being able to rely on their support system to go and find that right brand partner that allows it to fit into it. Because then all of a sudden, the brand is not just celebrating their product or their message, they're helping to bring to life the very content that the creator wants to make, but the community want to see. I mean, we're very lucky to be involved in the Wembley Cup campaign, happened at the stadium here, did it for 4 years. EE partnered with that. But that was my brother Spencer's idea. We wanted to take and bring out this big, huge, creator-led football match at the stadium, and EE just enabled it. They just brought it to life, right? As opposed to them being too controlling. They gave us creative control, and I think that's a very, very bold thing for some huge brands to do. And you've got to be very careful, and there's got to be brand guidelines. That's why you're selecting the right creators in the first place. But if you can do that, the upside is massive, right? That's where you get the real magic.
No, I was going to add to that and say that often brands say they're giving you creative control, and they're like, yeah, do it exactly how you see fit. And then actually when it comes down to it, they're like, oh no, actually, could the product be actually placed like this, like to a 30-degree angle? And actually, can you do this? When you nitpick the creation that like the creator is making, it becomes so quickly unauthentic. It's not organic. It doesn't resonate with the audience. And soon enough, there'll be comments being like, you're a sellout. Why did you do this? Or like, oh, that's a shit integration, or whatever it is. Because you have to trust the creator, and you have to trust that they know what's best, and not what's best, because obviously there's a whole team of people who have worked very hard to get to where they are, but sometimes one split decision from a creator can actually be more impactful than what a whole team of creatives have come together, purely because they know their audience inside and out, and they know the way their content is going to fall, and they just don't want it to be bad for both ends. If you want a campaign to be successful, I think both parties have to be equally involved. And actually, if you're going to give creative control to the creator, give it. Don't micromanage the entire thing to the point where it's not enjoyable either.
No, for sure. You got to, like you said, you have to give the do's and don'ts, the brand guidelines, and then that's sort of the objective points. Leave the subjective creativity to the creator. Just say that these are things that we don't do, these are things that we like. That's your playground. You know your platform, you know your audience. We never want you to come off as being, just selling out or just using a product that it clearly looks like you never have and you have no affinity towards, because that's damaging for both sides. And you can spot those because, again, it's the vibe check. So that's the important thing. Just let them know the do's and don'ts, be super clear with that. Because if you just go in and say, oh, be creative, like we're cool with whatever, and then they come back and then there's that awkward, oh, but I've already done the work. So it's all about the pre-prep and knowing the creator's audience at first. So what is their style? Do you think it fits? Because again, purpose and how does that work? And then that'll lead to a good collaboration.
Yeah, I think there's still a gap between corporate and creative. So what the brand expects on a corporate level and what the creative can deliver, even down to paperwork. Like, can you fill this sheet out and like write every single word that you're going to say? And it's like, well, no, because actually they need to say it in their way. Or we can guide them through a script, but if they don't say word to word, we can't reshoot it. It's not going to sound authentic, and then no one's going to be happy. So, yeah, really important question. What are the challenges brands face in the creator economy?
For me, I think it's an easy one. I think it's like the compliance side of it. I think so many brands are like paralyzed by fear that the creator's going to say something that's going to get them in trouble with a regulatory body or something like that. And I don't know the answer to it, because we see it so many times where they're so worried. For me, this is my personal opinion, I don't know if it stands up in court, but a creator is making their content promoting your brand. There's probably a load of legislation around this. It's not an advert for that brand. It is, but it isn't as well. Like, so many times you'll see that it'll be paralyzed by the fact that what exactly the wording, what to say or what not to say. I really feel that creators are held to a higher standard than any other type of media when it comes to advertising and compliance. I think it's absolute nonsense, to be honest. Like, how you see adverts on TV or product placement in TV or films, and they can just do whatever they want, and it's clearly a paid-for campaign, but no one's got hashtag ad anywhere. You've got the fact that a lot of creators, when they're using hashtag ad in an overly overt way, it just destroys the performance of the content. Everyone needs to be compliant, everyone needs to be protected, but I do think that the way creators seem to be put on a different pedestal unfairly to any other part of media ends up allowing for some brands to be so so overly concerned or overly protective over the compliance side, which is very important. I'm not dismissing that, but it ends up leading to a campaign just being nowhere near as successful as it could be. So I don't know the answer to that, but I think it's a real problem. What do you guys think? You from the brand side, that. How important is that? Sorry, I'm taking a question here.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
How important do you during your process when it comes to working with the creator? Obviously, you've got your internal teams. You can't get in trouble as a brand. You're the ones that will get bombasted over things. How hard is that to navigate?
Well, the key thing is, again, being a gaming department in a non-gaming endemic brand is just talk to the departments that you're collaborating with. Go in, talk to your legal team, talk to your compliance team, and just, be open. These are the people we'd like to work with. This is the purpose. This is how Twitch is different than Discord, which is different than Reddit. So knowing the nuances of the platform, because certain people in certain departments don't just have the same knowledge that you just take for granted. So you could go and talk to someone from legal who maybe thinks Twitch is VODs, not live streaming. And it's a whole different thing where you can't script everything because it has to be interactive, and because we all know how Twitch works. So the key for that is, I don't think there's one solution for that. I think you just need to talk to your departments on a case-by-case, campaign-by-campaign basis, so you make sure you're protected. Because again, everyone that you want to work with, you have to see, do they fit with the brand? You have to do your due diligence, and then just talk to your legal departments. That's what I would say.
Bloody legal departments, the bane of my life, to be honest. But yeah, they're
red line. Red lines everywhere. From a different angle of the same topic, brands understanding what the ROI of a creator actually is, understanding it's, some dial straight to the, what's the end of the funnel, where's the attribution for this, not truly understanding that a lot of it's just brand awareness through people who have influence over their audience, likened to like a billboard on a motorway where actually every car that's driving past is your target audience. Then it's down to your product, your price, how enticing it is, and then with the influence from the creators to send people that way. So understanding that is still a connection that I found somewhat with non-endemics to esports and to the creator world. A little bit of education there, but that's kind of like my touch on that. Just what the results of the creator campaign are and how to measure that based on what's available, the hardcore metrics, and then aside from that, the brand awareness.
I think something that is quite a challenge is, like you said, the unfairness that's put on creators to sort of, you have to put hashtag ad, you have to put hashtag gift, you have to make it very clear that you are advertising, even if you're not. I agree. I think it's too strict, personally. I understand why it's there, but I do think it's a little bit too strict. And I think from my perspective, what I have to do is make sure that I empathize with the creator when I'm asking them to do something, even if it's product only, if it's paid, if it's contractual, etc. They're still going to have to put that hashtag no matter what. And my key role in that area is to make sure that I'm empathizing and understanding that, their views might be lower, their engagement might be lower, because we know that some algorithms can suppress that kind of content. Apparently they don't. We don't know, but if it does, 100%
it does. I'm backing everything. There's no way it doesn't. It's absolutely. We've tested it so many times now. It's like, say this is such a weird example, but say David Beckham's going on the Jonathan Ross show, right? It won't be a coincidence he's going on there when the Netflix doc's coming out or when he's bringing a book out, right? I'm a fan of David Beckham. I'm not trying to dig him out here. But, he doesn't go on the sofa and go, by the way, before we talk about my book, I've got a book coming out. This is actually a paid endorsement. It's absolutely nonsense, right? And then a creator's got to go, paid ad here, hashtag ad here, top of it, in the thumbnail. Jesus Christ.
Kills it, doesn't it? Kills the performance.
What
kills
am I supposed to do here? It's unbelievable. And then, the platforms themselves, I think, naturally, I get it. Instagram isn't getting a cut of when Logitech sponsor a post on someone's main feed or in a reel, right? But if Logitech put spend behind a campaign, they are. So they're naturally incentivized to downgrade the performance of something they're not getting a cut of to incentivize you guys to put more money behind a paid campaign. I think they both need to work in conjunction with each other, but there's no way that with how good creators are now, and I think the Sidemen are geniuses at this, with how they'll integrate a campaign into the very fabric of a video. I remember one of the hide and seek videos at the Royal Albert Hall. They're in the middle, they're on the stage talking about it, and the guys are walking down the aisle bringing in the brand. Like like Mr. Beast does it brilliantly as well. And like there's that is clearly, everyone knows no one needs more. I just think it's got to be looked at. And I think as the creator economy gets bigger and as more brands spend more digitally and with creators, it's going to become such a larger macro part of people's overall advertising mix that it's going to have to get addressed, because I think it's actually a bigger problem than we actually realise.
No, exactly. They'll be more consumed by the audience if it's natural and subtle and subconscious, rather than you seeing a big ad and you're like, well, do you actually support this, or are you just doing it like to get the money? So as a consumer, you're like, I don't know how much I trust this, even if you aren't a creator that I adore. What is the future of the creator economy?
Where's the crystal ball?
Good question. Yeah, let's get the crystal
It's
ball.
the ender.
The creator economy is not going to be going away anytime soon. Only going to get bigger. And I mean, at the moment, we wouldn't be able to be on a panel talking about creators if we didn't mention TikTok at least once. As a platform, is a great awareness platform. The CPMs are low as well at this moment in time. So it's anyone's guess really on the creator economy going forward, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's only going to get bigger. And as the generation grow up, and as they grow up always watching and interacting with their favorite creators, that's something which is going to be embedded in people, and the way that advertising is going to be given away to the audience.
Well, one thing I think I can see happening already is I think CPMs will go up. I think across all platforms that increase. I think you've seen legacy media, as I call it, selling against digital advertising for so long, and now they've realised they get their biggest numbers on their own digital platforms. Now you're seeing the likes of what Piers Morgan is doing on the digital platforms, or people like some of the shows now coming out, Tucker Carlson in the US making a show that now outperforms his previous network. The opportunity to reach more people is on these digital platforms, just where the attention is. So I think we'll see the legacy media companies, instead of selling against digital advertising to try and protect their network advertising, they'll lean more into it, and they'll now start trying to increase what they charge for advertising within digital content, which then lifts up the whole industry of what CPMs can be achieved within platforms. So I think that's going to be the biggest change, is that it's going to continue to evolve, and if you could hold long form, true engaged audience, you're going to earn more and more money from those platforms. And then the other one I think is going to come more is, I already see it quite a lot, I'd imagine you guys will as well, is where brands, as part of a campaign mix now, they're not just getting a creator to make a post and put it on their own feed, you're also getting them to then create an additional piece of exclusive content that you guys then run as an ad, because some of these macro creators are so recognizable that yes, reaching their own existing audience is great, but then you get a second feed that is maybe more advertorial, that is a little bit more brand focused, and then you run ads against that as part of a combined mix. I'm seeing that move a lot as well at the moment.
I think for what I see for the future is, I think for a long time, like the way that creators have been perceived, especially by like the outside world, is it's been looked down on. I think that even the word influencer does have a bad vibe attached to it sometimes, and I think what we can see from the future and what we can expect from the future is a lot more acceptance that this is going to become like a really, like, people are now considering, little kids are considering, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, that's a job now. Like 10 years ago, that was not a job. You would have been laughed at, right? You might still be laughed at, but I think it's getting to a point where it's a lot more accepted. I think even to like marketing standards, I think creator marketing has been kind of looked down on a little bit, and then now it's viable. You don't need celebrities. These are homegrown celebrities from a diverse background. You've got people that have started from nothing and they've grown, and they've got these audiences that they've made themselves, and it's completely changed like the way that we see content, and just even like celebrity, it's a whole new way of existing like famously, and so I think it's just going to be taken more seriously going forward.
Exactly. There will be, for advertising, there's going to be no more George Clooney's on the Nespresso ads. It's going to be more GK Barry's on the KFC ads. Like, that's what I want to see more. I'm super excited for it. I know we are slightly running out of time, but I wonder if we can have a few questions from the audiences. in the next 2 minutes, if there are any.
We see a lot of brands and they have kind of an army of smaller creators, but they use them all for affiliate codes with a very, very small kind of percentage paid back to them. Obviously, for very large creators, that could be quite a good prospect. How do you feel about the way these companies will often approach the micro-influencers to use affiliate schemes?
I didn't really get that. Did anyone get that?
About micro creators and affiliate partnerships. So the way I see it is really simple, right? If I'm on the brand side, it's the best thing in the world because you can accumulate macro reach through micro influencers. They're often at the start of their journey where the fact they've been sent an email by amazing companies, they're absolutely buzzing. They're going to get some free product, they can't believe it. And if I'm on the brand side, why would you not do that? Why would you not get people who are genuinely excited to reach for no real fixed cost or no risk? That's what I would do. But when I'm on the creator side, it's the worst thing in the world because you're giving away the reach, you're giving away the brand equity, you're giving away an ambassadorial role in exchange for no guaranteed benefit. You start to transactionalize your relationship with your audience. That changes their perception of you. It only really works on the macro end. And then the guys get so big that they've got their own fast food stands over there, right? So all of a sudden they don't need an affiliate deal, they just make the company. So it's a massively important part of the industry. It always will be, I think. And it is all about getting that exactly right fit. But ultimately, if you really look at it, if an affiliate partnership will work so successfully that it continues to convert for the brand and for the creator, then that creator has a bigger opportunity than they maybe realise. But from an entry point, if I had a business, big, small or medium, if I could get all the creators to work on an affiliate basis, that's exactly what I would do. But if I was a creator, I would be trying to get a hybrid partnership where I have a guaranteed downside. And what we'll try to negotiate often is a guaranteed fee that covers everyone. Everyone's comfortable that no matter what happens, this is what our exchange in value is. But then the upside can be significantly incentivized both sides. That for me is the ultimate, but yeah.
I would have a slightly different perspective on that, just from the fact that it's very important to work with micro and nano creators as well as macro. And you don't just do micro, nano on the road to macro and forget anyone. You have to work with everyone and give everyone the rock star treatment before they're rock stars or even when they're rock stars. Now, an affiliate program for any kind of up and coming creator, that could be a way to associate with that brand. And that adds value. So in my time at Red Bull, for example, we would work with some musicians and artists who would just, have a Red Bull cooler on stage, and then they'd, it's kind of like the bat signal for bigger collaborations. I agree, if it's just an affiliate program with nothing else, then there's no value to that. But if it's an affiliate program, you're engaging with them, it's a two-way conversation, it's just a stepping stone in addition to it. Because again, if you're a micro creator, a nano creator, and you have that affiliation where I've got an affiliate code with this brand, and there's that relationship, it adds to you in value depending on how you want to perceive it. Like, do you want to just go for the money, or do you want to go for the brand association? How do you want to position yourself? And it's optional, and it's an extra source of, passive income that you could do, and it's adding value to your community because they're getting benefits from that as well. So it really depends on how you push your affiliate program, because I agree with the fact that you said it has to be in combination with something. So with that, I think there's value.
It's just all about the value exchange. If you genuinely are offering real, tangible value beyond a commission to a creator, absolutely. But it isn't in every instance that value is always passed on. Like, Red Bull, I think, in certain areas is a great example of that, where people could be in that sphere, but then, anybody can go and put a Red Bull fridge in the background, even if they're not affiliated with somebody. So, like you said, you're completely right, though. It's about what that individual circumstance is. I do agree that creators can get a glow up from being partnered with a brand, but I think it's down on an individual case-by-case basis.
Of course. I mean, from Charlotte Tilbury's perspective, we have a Magic Beauty Stars program, and that, the minute there's any creator that signs up to that and then uses that portal to reach out to us with ideas for collaborations, it's kind of just like an easy way in. You're like, oh, cool, you're part of this program that we've got. Let's have a chat. Let's listen to some ideas. It's just a fast track in that could be beneficial. It's not like you're held to certain targets, and it's a contractual thing. So.
I'll just very quickly talk. Sorry, I know we've not got much.
No, I know I'm getting daggers off the side of the stage. Like,
Sorry.
come off!
We have an affiliate system at Logitech, and coming from both a creator side and a brand side, I used to pay my rent from Amazon affiliates alone, so I'm always a big advocate for affiliate systems. Obviously, yes, you should always try and get payment where budgets are allowing. I will say from the brand side, budgets, oh my God. But I think it's nice to have that as like a little cushion system, and sort of, I never push the creators to share their links. It's always like, if you've got the link and if you want to share the link, go for it. Make that little coin if you can. Like, why not? For me, it's about kind of just making sure that they have that if they want it. It's 100%. Never pushed. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for staying with us during your break, and I'm really sorry to everyone on this side of the stage. Thank you so much.